Right boys, welcome to the 15th video on my channel. Today we're going to be going over the 10 best paid players in League 2 this season. With players generally getting paid more in football year on year, it's safe to say there are some very handsomely paid footballers even in League 2 this season. The average UK salary is £37,430 a year, which puts the average median weekly earnings at £728, which is 63.6% less than the average League 2 footballer on £2,000 a week. At number 10, we've got Corey Smith on a reported £3,000 per week. When you bring someone in with over 400 career appearances, multiple promotions and the mentality of a leader, you're not just playing for a player, you're paying for standards. Smith may be 34 years of age, but he's got a wealth of experience playing in the top 2 tiers of English football. In 2014, Smith signed for Bristol City and this became the defining chapter of his career. And some say, what he's most known for. After 6 years in Bristol, Smith joined Swansea City in 2020, playing regularly in the Championship and pushing for promotion. In 2022 though, he dropped to League 1 with Derby County, but he helped him earn promotion back to the Championship the following season, which for me, heavily justifies him being the 10th highest paid player in League 2 this season. At number 9, we've got Ben Woodburn. Yes, that wonder kid. Taking home a reported £3,250 per week. After at one point being considered the next best thing at Liverpool, Ben Woodburn has found himself playing for Salford City in League 2 this season at the age of 26. In 2016, at just 17 years of age, Woodburn made headlines by scoring against Leeds in the EFL Cup. This would make him Liverpool's youngest ever goal scorer. Big things were expected. He had technical class, vision, and he even earned an early Wales cap under Chris Coleman. But his development stalled, injuries and loan spells that didn't quite click. He went on loan to the likes of Sheffield United, Oxford and Blackpool, but he never found his rhythm. And by the time he left Liverpool in 2022, he was no longer seen as a top tier prospect. Woodburn would then go on to sign for Preston North End in the Championship, showed flashes of quality, but struggled for consistency. And as of 2024, he's been playing for Salford City in League 2. At £3,250 a week, some might say he's overpaid for League 2. But Salford didn't just sign him for gold. Brings top level experience, technical ability most players in League 2 don't have. And don't forget, he's still only 26. For a club trying to break into League 1, it's a calculated risk, and if he stays fit, it could be a bargain. At number 8, we've got Dan Crowley on a reported £3,500 per week. Touted as the next Jack Wilshere, Dan Crowley was once Arsenal's golden boy. But now, in 2025, he's playing in League 2 with MK Dons. Crowley joined Arsenal from Aston Villa at just the age of 15 and drew instant comparisons to Cesc Fabregas and Jack Wilshere. He starred in the youth competitions and even trained with the first team, but never made a senior appearance. Fast forward a few years later, after spells at Birmingham City, Cheltenham and Morecambe, Crowley signed for MK Dons in 2023. Despite the drop to League 2, he quickly became one of the division's standout creative midfielders, and at £3,500 per week, Crowley is among the top earners at MK Dons. But there's a reason for that. He brings technical quality that's rare at this level, unlocks defences and creates chances out of nothing. In a league where games are often tight and physical, players like Crowley can be the difference. Dan Crowley might not have been a Premier League star, but MK Dons he's proven his worth. And if promotion is the goal, then £3,500 a week for a playmaker of this calibre might just be money well spent. At number 7, we've got Barrow's Conor Mahoney. Picking up a reported £3,750 per week, I find it absolutely astonishing. For one of the smallest clubs in League 2 to be forking out that much money for a player is absolutely mental. Mahoney earns roughly £195,000 per year, which is 5 times the average UK salary. He came through the ranks at Blackburn Rovers, earning Premier League interest as a teenager. In fact, he was snapped up by Bournemouth in 2017. He was capped at England youth teams, later went into press at loan spells at Barnsley, Birmingham City, Millwall, but unfortunately injuries have meant he's ended up in League 2. At number 6, we've got Will Stanway, another bloody Barrow player.
No way. No way.
Will Stanway isn't a household name yet, but for those following the lower leagues, his trajectory is turning heads. He made a name for himself at non-league Clitheroe, impressing with his reflexes and command of the box. Barrow saw the potential and brought him in as a long-term project, but that project developed quicker than anyone expected. Fast forward to now, and Will Stanway's established himself as Barrow's first-choice keeper in a league where physicality and aerial duels are constant. And it's safe to say that Stanway's presence in the box has been crucial. But Stanway earns a reported £4,000 per week. I'm just going to say it, for a keeper with little pedigree, regardless of how good he is this season or last season, that's far too much. At number 5, we've got Cambridge United's Elias Kachunga on a reported £4,250 per week. Most notably known for his time in the Premier League, Kachunga was a regular at Huddersfield Town after they signed him for £1.1 million from Ingolstadt. He joined Cambridge in 2023 after time at Bolton and has been a reliable forward option. He also brings leadership. Younger attackers can learn off someone who's played in the top flights in Germany and England. In short, Elias Kachunga might not be the youngest star, but that's not a liability. For Cambridge United, having a player of his pedigree, experience, professionalism and consistency is a stabiliser. His wage is a price tag for reliability, leadership and moments of quality, and in League 2 those moments are exactly what decide your season. At number 4, we've got 23-year-old Connor Taylor, who currently plays for Bristol Rovers, and he picks up a reported £4,700 per week. Pretty unheard of, I'd say, for a 23-year-old who's also a defender played in League Two. Taylor was born in 2001 and during the 2021-22 season made 42 league appearances while on loan at Bristol Rovers, where he won automatic promotion that season. And it's safe to say he was a key defensive figure. In August 2023, Taylor signed permanently to Bristol Rovers on a 3-year deal. Also can't miss out the fact he's 6'6", massive in the air. He was voted Player of the Year for the 2024-5 season despite injuries. On paper, he sounds like a pretty good asset, but £4,700 for a 23-year-old. Now for the third highest paid player in League Two this season, it's another bloody Pirates player. They're absolute pirates, they are. Pun intended. 28-year-old Taylor Moore picks up a reported £5,000 per week. 28 years of age, but he's another bloody defender. Moore has played in France. He's also played in the Championship for Bristol City, though not always a starter. As a centre-back, Moore is considered strong in duels, positional sense, decent with the ball. He adds depth, competition and reliability at the back line. Given his background, Moore is above what he classify as a journeyman, which can often command higher wages. Gavin Kilkenny, also known as the second highest paid player in League Two this season. Not a Bristol Rovers or Borough player, funnily enough. Born February the 1st, 2000 in Dublin, Ireland, Kilkenny started at St Kevin's Boys before moving to AFC Bournemouth youth system in 2016. He would then graduate into Bournemouth senior squad in 2019, making a number of appearances as he broke into professional football. I remember this guy all the time on Match of the Day. It's safe to say his career has turned a downward spiral though. A loan to Stoke City in the Championship in the 2022-3 season, then a loan to Charlton Athletic in League One the season after, and then Fleetwood Town the season after that in League Two. 30th of August 2024, he signs a permanent deal with League Two Swindon Town, earning £5,200 per week. Now for the highest paid player in League Two this season. I'm being serious here, right? It's a Bristol Rovers defender, below the age of 25. And you know what's also really funny? All three of these Bristol Rovers defenders on hefty amounts of money were all signed before last season and subsequently relegated to League Two. The irony. Clinton Mola is officially the highest paid player in League Two this season on a reported £7,500 per week, which is just under £400,000 per year and 10.5 times the average UK salary, 3.75 times the average League Two wage, 3 times the average doctor's salary, 3 times average 4th division. Right, we'll stop it there. Mola came through the Chelsea Academy, developed through the youth ranks. In January 2020, moved to VfB Stuttgart in Germany, crucial in helping them return to the Bundesliga, featured quite a bit in the Bundesliga, went on loan to Blackburn in the Championship for the 2022-3 season, dropped down the leagues, and has now ended up at Bristol Rovers in League Two, but on a hefty wage packet. I don't care who he plays for, that honestly baffles me, at the age of 24. But anyway, yeah boys, I'm going to end the video there. I do hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for my video next Friday, which will be exactly the same, just for League One. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, see you in the next one.